It was a cold and rainy evening in downtown Los Angeles. Keanu Reeves had just finished a late-night meeting and was walking alone to his car. The street was eerily quiet, the neon lights flickering against the wet pavement. As he reached for his car door, a group of rough-looking men emerged from the shadows. They surrounded him, their eyes filled with bad intentions. "Hey, look who we have here." One of them sneered. "Hollywood star all alone in a dark alley. Must be our lucky night." Keanu, always calm, took a deep breath. He had dealt with dangerous situations in movies, but this was real. He was outnumbered, and the men were getting closer. Suddenly, a small voice called out from the other side of the street. "Hey, leave him alone." The group turned to see a young boy, maybe 13 or 14, standing under a broken streetlight. He wore a tattered hoodie, his face thin from hunger, but his eyes burned with determination. The men laughed. "What are you gonna do, kid?" But the boy didn't back down. Instead, he pulled out his phone and lifted it high. "I just recorded everything. If you don't leave now, the whole world will see what you're doing." The men hesitated. Keanu could see the fear in their eyes. They knew who he was, and they knew this would ruin them. "Come on, let's get out of here," one of them muttered. And just like that, they vanished into the night. Keanu walked over to the boy, his face filled with gratitude. "That was really brave, kid. What's your name?" "Leo," the boy said, shuffling awkwardly. "Leo," Keanu repeated, smiling. "You just saved me. How can I thank you?" Leo shrugged. "I don't need anything. I just don't like bad guys." Keanu studied him for a moment. He could tell Leo had been living on the streets for a while. "Do you have anywhere to go?" Keanu asked gently. Leo looked down. "Not really." Keanu nodded. "Come on, let's get something to eat first." That night, Keanu took Leo to a diner, where they shared stories over burgers and fries. By morning, Keanu had already made calls to get Leo into a safe home with food, clothes, and a real chance at a better life. Little did Leo know that one moment of bravery would change his life forever. And as for Keanu Reeves, he had made Reeves from a difficult situation, Part 2. Leo sat across from Keanu in the small 24-hour diner, his fingers wrapped around a warm cup of hot chocolate. He couldn't remember the last time he had a real meal, let alone sat somewhere that felt safe. Keanu watched him closely, noticing the way he cautiously took small bites of his burger, as if saving it for later. "You can eat as much as you want, Leo," Keanu said with a kind smile. "Order more if you're still hungry." Leo hesitated, then nodded. "Thanks, Mr. Reeves. I've seen you in movies, but I never thought I'd be sitting here with you." Keanu chuckled. "Just Keanu is fine. And tonight, you're my hero, Leo." Leo smirked. "Yeah, well, even heroes gotta eat." He took another big bite, finally letting his guard down. As the sun began to rise, Keanu made some calls. He reached out to a friend who ran a shelter for homeless youth. Within an hour, a woman named Sarah arrived, her warm smile reassuring. "Leo, this is Sarah," Keanu introduced. "She helps kids like you get back on their feet." Leo looked skeptical. "I don't want to end up in some place where they just forget about me." Sarah knelt beside him. "I understand, Leo, but this place isn't just a shelter. It's a home. We help kids find jobs, go back to school, and build a future. No one is forgotten." Keanu placed a hand on Leo's shoulder. "You saved me last night. Now let me help you." After a long pause, Leo sighed. "Okay, I'll give it a shot." Keanu grinned. "Good choice, kid." 1 year later. A year had passed and Leo's life had completely changed. With the help of Sarah and the shelter, he was back in school, excelling in his classes, and even had a part-time job at a bookstore. One afternoon, as he was stacking books, the door chimed. He looked up, and there was Keanu Reeves, standing with his signature easygoing smile. "Hey, Leo," Keanu said. Leo's face lit up. "Keanu, you actually came back." "I told you I would," Keanu said. "I wanted to see how my hero was doing." Leo grinned. "I'm doing great, and guess what? I'm thinking about acting. Maybe one day I'll be in movies like you." Keanu smirked. "Well, if you ever need a mentor, you know who to call." Leo chuckled. "Deal." As Keanu walked out of the bookstore, he turned back one last time. He had met a lot of people in his life, but something told him Leo was going to do something amazing. And Leo, he had gone from a homeless boy on the streets to someone with a future. Because sometimes, even homeless boy saves Keanu Reeves from a difficult situation. Part 3. A surprise opportunity. Months passed, and Leo worked hard at school while spending his free time practicing acting. He watched classic movies, studied scripts, and even started performing small scenes in front of a mirror. One day, while finishing his shift at the bookstore, his phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. Hesitantly, he answered, "Leo, it's Keanu." Leo's heart jumped. "Keanu, hey, what's up?" "I've been thinking about our last conversation." Keanu said, "I might have an opportunity for you, if you're interested." Leo nearly dropped the phone. "Wait, what? Like an acting opportunity?" "Yeah," Keanu chuckled. "A friend of mine is directing a new movie and they're looking for fresh talent. It's a small role, but it could be your start." Leo's mind raced. This was unreal. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious," Keanu said, "but only if you're ready to work hard." Leo didn't even hesitate. "I'll do whatever it takes." "Great," Keanu said. "Come to the studio tomorrow. Let's see what you got." Stepping into the spotlight. The next day, Leo walked into a massive film studio, his heart pounding. The bright lights, cameras, and crew members rushing around made it feel like another world. Keanu was waiting for him. "Nervous?" he asked. Leo nodded a little. "Good," Keanu said with a grin. "That means you care." Leo was given a few lines to read, and when the moment came, he poured everything into it. He imagined the struggles he had faced, the nights he had spent alone on the streets, and the courage it took to survive. When he finished, the director looked impressed. "Kid's got something," the director said. "Let's give him a shot." Leo couldn't believe it. He had just landed his first movie role. Keanu patted his shoulder. "Told you, kid, you've got something special." Tashed from the streets to the silver screen. Months later, Leo stood on a red carpet, dressed in a sharp suit, cameras flashing all around him. The premiere of his first movie was a dream come true. Reporters asked him how he got into acting, and he simply smiled. "It all started when I saved Keanu Reeves." Nearby, Keanu watched, arms crossed, a proud smile on his face. Leo wasn't just a homeless kid anymore. He was an actor, a fighter, and proof that one moment of bravery could change your life forever. And this was only the beginning. Hatsha, homeless boy saves Keanu Reeves from a difficult situation. The rise of Leo Carter. Leo's first movie role was small, but it was enough to get him noticed. Casting directors started calling, and soon he was auditioning for bigger roles. Keanu kept an eye on him, offering advice when needed. "Stay humble, kid. Hollywood can be tricky, but if you keep working hard, you'll go far." Leo took those words to heart. He stayed focused, avoided bad influences, and trained every day, acting, stunt work, even martial arts. He wanted to prove he wasn't just lucky, he belonged in this industry. And then, his big break came. A famous director, one of Keanu's old colleagues, was making a new action movie. They needed a young actor who could bring intensity and heart to the role. Keanu personally recommended Leo. "He's raw, talented, and he's got something real," Keanu told the director. After a tough audition process, Leo landed the lead role. It was a dream come true. Filming with a legend. On set, Leo was in awe. The scale of the production was huge. Explosions, car chases, fight sequences. But the best part, Keanu Reeves was in the movie too. One day between takes, Leo sat next to Keanu, both of them drinking coffee and watching the crew set up for a big action sequence. "You ever think about that night?" Leo asked. Keanu smiled. "All the time. You saved me, Leo, and now look at you." Leo chuckled. "Yeah, but you saved me right back." Keanu raised his cup. "Then I guess we're even." From underdog to star, the movie was a massive success. Audiences loved Leo's performance. Critics praised his natural talent, and suddenly he was a rising star. Interviews, magazine covers, red carpet events. Leo was living a life he never imagined, but he never forgot where he came from. With his first big paycheck, he made a donation to the same shelter that helped him get off the streets. He even started a foundation for homeless youth, making sure other kids got the same chance he did. At one event, a reporter asked him, "What's the biggest lesson you've learned from working with Keanu Reeves?" Leo smiled. "That being kind and helping others will take you further than anything else." In the crowd, Keanu watched with a proud grin. Leo was more than an actor now. He was an inspiration. And his story? It was only just beginning. Homeless boy saves Keanu Reeves from a difficult situation. Part 5. A new challenge. Leo's rise to fame was fast, but Hollywood wasn't all red carpets and flashing lights. With success came pressure. The more famous he became, the more expectations people had of him. Late one night, after finishing a long shoot, Leo sat alone in his apartment, staring at the city lights through the window. His phone buzzed. It was Keanu. "Hey kid?" Keanu's calm voice came through. "How's everything?" Leo hesitated before answering. "It's a lot." Keanu chuckled. "Yeah, fame can feel like a storm sometimes. Want to take a ride?" Within 30 minutes, Leo was in Keanu's car, cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway. The wind rushed past them, the ocean stretching endlessly beside the road. Keanu finally spoke. "You know, I've been where you are, feeling like everyone's watching, like you have to be perfect." Leo nodded. "Yeah, I don't want to mess this up." Keanu glanced at him. "Then don't. Just remember why you started. Not for money, not for fame, because you love this." Leo exhaled, the weight on his shoulders feeling lighter. "Thanks, Keanu. I needed that." Keanu smirked. "Anytime, kid. A role that changes everything." A few months later, Leo was offered a once-in-a-lifetime role, a deep, emotional drama about a street kid who rises above his struggles. It wasn't just another action movie. It was his story. At first he hesitated. It was too personal, too raw, but Keanu encouraged him. "This is why you're here, Leo. Show the world what you've been through. It might help someone else." So Leo took the role, and he gave it everything. When the movie was released, audiences were blown away. Critics called it one of the most powerful performances of the decade. And at the Academy Awards that year, Leo Carter won Best Actor. Half full circle. As he stood on stage holding his Oscar, Leo's eyes scanned the crowd until they landed on Keanu. He smiled and said into the mic, "This award isn't just mine. It belongs to every kid out there who feels invisible. And to the person who reminded me that kindness can change your life. Keanu Reeves, this one's for you." The audience erupted in applause. Keanu, watching from his seat, simply gave a humble nod, pride shining in his eyes. Leo had come full circle, from a homeless boy on the streets to an Oscar-winning actor. And through it all, he never forgot the moment that started it all. The night he saved Keanu Reeves, and the night Keanu Reeves saved him right back. The end, or just the beginning. Homeless poor boy saves Keanu Reeves from a difficult situation, Part 6. After winning his Oscar, Leo's life became a whirlwind of opportunities. Directors, producers, and studios all wanted to work with him. But despite the fame and success, something felt missing. One evening, Leo sat in his quiet penthouse, looking at the golden statue on his shelf. He had everything he ever dreamed of, yet his heart still pulled him back to the streets, the place where his journey began. Then his phone rang. "Hey kid," Keanu's familiar voice came through. Leo smiled. "You always call at the right time." Keanu chuckled. "I was just thinking, what if we make a movie together?" Leo sat up straight. "Wait, like you and me? A full-on movie?" "Yeah," Keanu said. "Not just any movie though. Your story. The real one." Leo's mind raced. His past was something he had always wanted to share, but telling it on the big screen, that was huge. "You think people would want to see that?" Leo asked. Keanu's voice was steady. "Leo, they need to see it." Making the movie of a lifetime. Within months, Leo and Keanu co-wrote the script. It wasn't just another Hollywood film. It was a raw, unfiltered story about struggle, survival, and the power of kindness. The film was titled The Streetlight, a tribute to the broken streetlight under which Leo had stood that fateful night when he saved Keanu. Keanu directed, while Leo played himself. Every scene was based on true events, the cold nights, the hunger, the fear, and the moment that changed everything. Filming wasn't easy. Reliving those memories was painful, but Leo knew it was worth it. This wasn't just his story. It was the story of every kid who had ever felt lost, alone, or forgotten. When The Streetlight premiered, the world was stunned. Critics called it one of the most important films of the decade. Audiences wept. Social media exploded with people sharing their own stories of hardship and survival. But the most powerful moment came at the film's final scene. A real-life recording of Leo standing next to Keanu under a streetlight, smiling at how far they had come. The impact was massive. Donations to homeless youth organizations skyrocketed. Shelters around the country saw an outpouring of support, and Leo's foundation expanded globally, helping kids find homes, education, and second chances. At the film's final press conference, a reporter asked, Leo, what's next for you? Leo glanced at Keanu, then smiled. Helping the next kid who needs a chance. Keanu grinned. I'll be right there with you, kid. And just like that, their story wasn't just about a boy who saved Keanu Reeves. It was about two people who saved each other, and were now ready to save the world. The end, and the beginning of something bigger. Homeless boy saves Keanu Reeves from a difficult situation. A mission bigger than Hollywood. After the streetlight became a global success, Leo and Keanu knew they couldn't stop there. The movie had raised awareness, but there were still millions of kids on the streets, kids who needed real help, not just inspiration. One evening, Leo and Keanu sat on the rooftop of Leo's foundation headquarters, overlooking the city. The neon lights stretched endlessly, just like the dreams of the kids they were trying to help. Leo sighed. You ever feel like we could do more? Keanu nodded. Always. So let's do it. And that's when their next big project was born. Building Hope, the Streetlight Project. Leo and Keanu launched the Streetlight Project, a worldwide initiative to provide shelter, education, and job training to homeless youth. But this wasn't just another charity. It was designed to empower kids, giving them tools to build their own futures. They set up safe homes across the country. They funded acting workshops, film training programs, and tech boot camps so kids could learn real skills. And Keanu? He donated millions, personally visiting shelters, shaking hands and listening to the stories of kids who reminded him of Leo. Leo, now a public figure, used his platform to spread awareness. Every red carpet event, every interview, he made sure the world heard their message. No kid should ever feel invisible. An unexpected reunion. One afternoon while visiting a shelter in New York, Leo noticed a familiar face, a boy, maybe 15, sitting alone in the corner. His hoodie was too big, his shoes worn out. He looked just like Leo had years ago. Leo walked over. Hey man, what's your name? The boy hesitated, then mumbled, Jason. Leo sat beside him. I used to be just like you, Jason. Jason scoffed. Yeah, right? Leo pulled out his phone and showed Jason an old photo, him standing under that broken streetlight the night he saved Keanu. Jason's eyes widened. Wait, that's you. Leo grinned. Yeah, and if I can make it out, so can you. Jason looked down, his tough exterior cracking. I just don't know how. Leo patted his shoulder. That's why we're here. We'll figure it out together. The next chapter. As the years passed, the Streetlight Project grew. Leo continued acting, but his heart was always with the kids who needed a second chance. One day, as Keanu and Leo sat watching a new batch of kids graduate from their training program, Keanu leaned back with a satisfied smile. You know, kid, Keanu said, when I first met you, I had no idea you'd changed so many lives. Leo smirked. Neither did I. Then Keanu raised his coffee cup. To streetlights. Leo raised his own. And to the people who light the way. And with that, their story wasn't just about 2 lives saved. It was about thousands more, because kindness, like a streetlight in the dark, has no limit to how far it can shine. The end. And the start of a legacy.